Hello everyone, and welcome to the Alaska region of EGFH for Season 3 for Overwatch. Today we have a best-of-4 match between the Matsu Central Ravens and the Valley Pathway Arctic Foxes. I want to thank our sponsor Mob Crush for helping us make this season possible. My name is Gorka, and for this series I'm joined by Cool J.
Hi guys, how's it going? This week we're going to be starting with Escort and going to Control, Assault, and Hybrid. If the scoreline is tied 2-2 after these maps, we will have a tiebreaker map on Escort. So we're going to be starting on Dorado, heading over to Busan and Hanamura, and then after our quick tour of the Asian islands, we're going to be heading back over towards Eichenwald, and finally, if necessary, we'll be having a tiebreaker on Rialto.
Alright, and now we're just loading into the game, looking at the teams. We have the Ravens on blue.
Yeah, and we have the Valley Pathway Arctic Foxes in the red, starting on the attack. And I haven't seen the Ravens yet, but I have seen the Foxes, and I know that they do have some skill, so it should be a pretty interesting match today.
Exactly, yeah, this is going to be pretty critical for the Foxes. They're currently right now about 0-2. You know, haven't won their first game yet in this season, though we might see this change right now. And the Ravens are actually going to be pretty tough opponents since right now they're going undefeated. So this could be very interesting. We already see the top team comps coming out, and pretty standard 2-2-2s. The Ravens are bringing out a Bastion on defense, and they're going to have the 6-shooter on Reaper. Very solid DPS. I've seen him play before, and they're just really good. Right there, actually, he's going to be laying an ambush for on. So that could be very. If he managed to get a nice pick, they could definitely slow down the first push of the Foxes. But we're going right into the game, and we see that the Foxes are pushing the cart. You know, they have their also pretty standard.
Yeah, this definitely looks like it might be a tough setup for this offense to crack here. They've got the Pharah trying to rain in some damage on this shield, but really just Blink going at it, and there you go. 6-shooter sees his opportunity, dives right in with Hammond right there. Some great coordination from them to go right in there. Snow Parallax fighting for his life, but not going to last much longer there.
Yeah, that was a really good initial aggression from the Ravens. Corbs and 6-shooter, as we've seen in previous games, have been a very aggressive DPS for the Ravens. And we saw that Azami actually went out there as Lucio with 6-shooter and Corbs to just provide some support, making a very solid triple threat right there. And it was very effective, took out almost all of the Foxes in their first go.
And now, really, the Foxes are just reeling. The Ravens just getting pick after pick onto this attack, and it's just so tough for them now as 6-shooter walking right into the backlines there. Lots of support, and we might even see a full hold at the spawn door here. This is...
Exactly, yeah, they just have a very solid position here. You see 6-shooter continuously going back up to that left-hand building, just waiting in tray, just waiting up on the ledges like a gargoyle, just wanting to strike down as he's about to do right now. Taking out the ult.
Yeah, he uses that Death Blossom, but doesn't quite get what he was looking for. He's going to get taken down. Parallax actually also took down Mercy at the end of the last fight, which means that this defense is now only 4 people strong. That could mean an opening here, but they still have to figure out how to delete this shield.
Exactly, yeah, this is going to be a very tough position for the Foxes to break, because we have the constant aggression from Corbs and 6-shooter, and 6-shooter's already coming back to help out with Corbs. But in that defense from Blink and Sprinkle Jet, they're backing off now, but like it was very solid. We already see some ults coming out right here.
Yeah, the Hammond ult comes up, which enables 6-shooter to come back down on this Reaper, which means Blink can reset up, and it's really just the timings from this defense are so strong. The Foxes are having trouble punishing it.
Exactly, yeah. The Blink and Sprinkle, they moved back right there just as Corbs and 6-shooter were in position. So while the Foxes had their attention focused kind of up on the balcony where Blink was, Corbs and 6-shooter just flank around and managed to do some very nice damage and totally just tore through the back line of the Foxes.
Oh, but Hammond actually getting caught out there by Snow Parallax. We'll see if he can find any more, but 6-shooter doing so much damage, finds both tanks. White River is going to get some revenge there, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, exactly. But this critical backcapping from Parallax and Noah, it doesn't seem like the Ravens are reacting as well. I don't even know if they've noticed the payload's gone. Blink is just mowing down people, and Sprinkle Jet is still focused there. They have no one on there, actually, as I say that. Corp Jam and Six Shooter do come in to attack, but...
Yeah, it seems like they're finally noticing, thanks to the Hammond and the Lucio, they got to come back, and Parallax going down. He really seemed to be the source of a lot of damage for this attack, so that's a huge loss, and we see many kills going in quick succession after he goes down.
Exactly, yeah, but even then, the very nice Death Blossom from Six Shooter actually manages to clean up all the backcapping that the Foxes were able to pull off, and once again, they're pushed back over to the archway. Once again, the ults on Ravens looking quite strong. They have a Earth Shatter and a Sound Bear to work with, and that barrage from Flameboy getting canceled immediately. This is not looking good. It just seems like the Foxes are trickling in, feeding over to the Ravens, who have a very nice hold and managed to take the first round of Dorado.
They really just couldn't crack this defense at all. They had a nice nest set up there, the Ravens did. And, I mean, I don't know if Reinhardt's shield ever died.
Exactly, yeah. That shield was constantly up, and Blink was just standing there behind her, doing a lot of damage, just guarding the point. And then every single time that the Foxes were moving in, Corbs and the Six Shooter would walk in, do a little bit of crowd control to get them all kind of bunched up and just separated when need to, and taking them out. They were just taking names there, and that solid hold didn't, even if the Foxes were able to take down Six Shooter and Corbs, which they did several times, Blink was still up there in his Bastion, just doing heavy damage. Really good setup from Ravens. They did a split composition. They had their teams split into 3 groups, if you haven't noticed, with I believe it was Howard Stark, Sprinkle Jet, and Six Shooter. Not Six Shooter, Blink and Sprinkle Jet grouped up on the ledge, and then Azami, Corbs, and Six Shooter just running around. And yeah, that was very well played by the Ravens. Let's see if they can manage to. They're bringing back the same exact team comp for offense. This could probably work. A Pirate Bastion on Dorado can very much be a very good counter pick to any sort of Rhine Shield placed where the Ravens had it beforehand. And that seems like something that the Foxes might try right here. We already see Noah and Mr. Gerbear just going up here, positioning themselves in the same position. And I don't know, maybe they could pull it off again as well, do what the Ravens did. But Ravens, they only have to push the cart small amount of meters before to actually.
Yeah, only have to go 70 meters there. And I think another important thing was just, I think we'll see them coming out with a very similar playstyle, being split up. You see the Reaper already looking for that flank play, and again, the Hammond knocking so many people off, and there goes Spire, and that's one less shield for this Bastion, who's up top. He's still doing damage, but Six Shooter is finding the kills.
Exactly, yeah, that flank from Six Shooter is critical. Took down Orisa. Now that you see the Orisa shield is gone, Gerbear is completely left in the open. Six Shooter coming right behind. Actually might be able to get Snow Parallax, but nope, instead tries to go for Gerbear, even though Corp Champ already takes a kill from him.
Yeah, and Six Shooter now pushing onto this Reinhardt, looking for a mercy kill as well, and this could be GG for his first map here.
Exactly, yeah. As the Ravens managed to push the cart right onto the 70-meter mark, the first map goes to the Ravens. Very well played from them. Very, they need a lot of coordination to pull off that split team attack. They kind of need almost 2 in-game leaders to pull that off. One person directing the core defense while the other person directs the, aggressive offense. And that was very well done by the Ravens. They were able to push off the Foxes. The Foxes, they didn't really have much room or were given that many chances to organize themselves to show off any unique strats. I saw that they were almost feeding into the Ravens in several occasions. They would just be trickling in. And definitely seems like a bit of a weak point for the Foxes. But we'll see if that changes up in the next map, Busan, that we're going into.
Yeah, coming up next, Busan. It doesn't really favor these setup comps. We saw both teams play Bastion, especially the Ravens playing a lot of Bastion. And it's very tough to set up a Bastion on King of the Hill. It's very tough to get that value. So We'll see if they can flex onto some other compositions,
Exactly.
maybe get some more mobility in there. And I think the Foxes may have a chance to break through and take another map.
Yeah, but I do want to point out that the Ravens are actually going to be switching out one of their players. They said so in the chat, and they definitely that could mean a change in comp. For control point, Goats, at least in the Overwatch League, has been very popular. I mean, it's been popular in almost all game modes, but especially it's very good for init for like the first tap on control point maps, and obviously King of the Hill is very much a control point focused map. So we see that Jake coming in, replacing 6-shooter, and that could be an interesting switch. Maybe they might be going for could be a extra tank to help out the Ravens with any Goats comps that they could try to pull off in this first game. But we'll see. Maybe the Foxes can respond with their own kind of attack. And Goats not exactly the best for taking control or holding down a point as well. So this could be interesting, honestly. I want to see a shake-up. Maybe the Foxes could really get in there. First game, just a warm-up. That's all they got to say.
Yeah, so both teams now loading in and trying to figure out what they're going to come out of the gates here with. As we take a look at this futuristic city of Busan, I like the terrain on this map. I like the aesthetics of this map in general, though.
Very nice, honestly. It's very fitting for South Korea to start off in a karaoke bar as well.
Yeah.
The train just adds a nice little touch to it. That can actually kill as well. Just keep that in mind. So if we see any Lucio boops into that train, I'm going to be happy. Nice little extreme way to take out enemy players. And yeah, now as we get a chance to look at the team comps, and we're seeing a Sombra coming from the Foxes. Noah actually playing that, and they have aside from that, pretty standard 2-2-2 from the Foxes. And even though that the Ravens switched out 6-shooter, they're playing with the same exact comp. Blink on Bastion as well, and Jake also taking the role of Reaper, taking it from 6-shooter. Seems that they're probably going to do the same exact strat here. I'm not sure how well that will work. If they can get
I think this is really interesting. They have Noah on the Sombra, as you mentioned, and Sombra is a very strong counter to the Bastion and also to the Hammond, both of which were like wreaking a lot of havoc on this team. That could spell doom for the Ravens, especially since they're trying to play Bastion on this King of the Hill, where he's really not that strong, but now they're getting caught out. Spire getting knocked out of the mech, and Jailbreak going down early. They're going to need a quick disengage and hope they can win that second fight. They are going to get a nice pick onto Jake as they're exiting from this fight, but I think it's time for them to regroup and go for a quick retake.
Exactly. That was an amazing pick by Jake. He managed to just teleport behind the two tanks who overextended without the Moirus. So Parallax was actually a little too far away from the tanks to do any real healing, and he just tore through them. Reaper is very effective with those shotguns. At close range, that will do a metric crap ton of damage. So that was very smart play by there. And even though Jake did get picked off at the end, that did give his team an opening to actually take the point.
Yeah, we see Jake coming in right there and finding 3, and the thing is, they actually had some good momentum. Noah on the Sombra, able to find the Hammond and also found a few other kills. They might have been able to engage there, but unfortunately it's all for naught. Now they're going to have to regroup and try and go.
Exactly, yeah. Snow Parallax was able to maintain some control of the upper balcony. I would love to see the Foxes make use of that, but we see Jake right in the midst of the...
and the Death Blossom coming through, finds 2 and a D-Mech as Jerbear goes down as well, and it's Jake filling up the kill feed. He doesn't need teammates on that team fight.
Exactly, yeah. Very well done by Jake, honestly. The Foxes had an opportunity with Snow Parallax actually taking control of the upper balcony. They could have dropped down, didn't attack, definitely get the jump on Blink if they just rushed him. But Jake just followed around, went on the flank, and actually be able to just Death Blossom the entire team apart. It was very well done by him, and I give him full props for that.
And now we're going to see them engaging again. Corb going to drop down those Hammond mines, trying to just keep the team at bay, build up some more percentage. Sombra looking for the hack. They do get the hack onto him, and he's going to get flashed as well, but are they going to get enough damage to be able to take him out? In the meantime, White River going down to Azimi on this Lucio. Azimi is going low, but Jake in the backline once again on this Reaper. Looking for more. He finds Noah. Can he get anything else? Meanwhile, Blink on this Bastion. You know, we had doubts over whether they could get him set up, but he's set up and he is doing work.
Exactly, yeah. That initial aggression from Jake was able to get rid of the tanks and completely shut down the first push from the Foxes that allowed Blink to get set up. And once he was set up there, all he had to do was sit down. Him and his Ryan and Mercy were able to just sit back, relax, let the enemies come to them, and take them out one by one. I like that Spire brought out the Roadhog. That's a very good pick, especially against these two heavy aggressive DPSs of Jake and Corbs. Even though Corbs is playing Hammond at this point, the way he's playing is basically as a DPS. And that was a very good pick, honestly. I would like for him to see him stay on that pick. That could be very useful in taking down that second group of the Ravens and opening up his team an opportunity to take down Blink.
We're now seeing a very damage-heavy comp coming out from the side of the Foxes. They've got the Diva Roadhog tank line, which of course can tank a lot of damage and dish it out. They're going to scare that Hammond away, but they did sacrifice their Sombra player, now having a Moira. And of course, Blink going to be able to set up again. They were a little slow getting to this first team fight, and we'll see how they try and approach this here.
Exactly, yeah. Jake was not able to get that much damage down. He did get a D-Mech on Snow Parallax, but aside from that, not much else doing. Spire just trying to get a pick off here, but the shields are coming up, and that does give the Ravens a defensive advantage in this next fight.
Well, I do really like what the Foxes have done here. They have so much shield damage in this comp, and they have a lot of burst damage, too, to try and punish the Hammond and the Reaper. But unfortunately, just kind of series of getting caught out of position here, trying to avoid the shots of that Bastion, but unable to get away. And Jake now back in the fight after he was taken down early, finding a few kills of his own.
Exactly, yeah. The comp that the Foxes are currently running does require a lot of closer ranged attacks. Spire with the Roadhog. Death Blossom taken out both White, the Mercy, and the Spire. Oof, lots of damage.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if fatigue is really playing into things. This Reaper, I mean, they're doing a lot of good things to try and counter him, but it seems like just simple mistakes keep bearing him down every time. It's really unfortunate. I mean, what did you think about this situation?
I think that the Foxes really do need some sort of switch up. I really like the Sombra. That would have been very effective, especially getting like an EMP right on top of that little Mercy, Ryan, and Bastion enclave that the Ravens are trying to pull off. We see Spire trying to do the same thing with a whole hog, but not really quite getting the effect that was needed. And a lot of team fights going down here right now.
Yeah, and we see them trying to fight now. They had some early... Oh, look at this. Flameboy finding two with a barrage. But unfortunately, it's just too little too late in this team fight. Jerbear, the only one still alive for his team. He is going to use the Death Blossom here. Going to be able to take out Howard Stark, but not before she can get the res off onto Splinket Jedi. And the Moira coming back into this fight now, but he's going to try and get disengaged because he's really all by himself.
Yeah, exactly. More ults coming out, just cleaning up the rest of the Foxes team as they're trying to push on. That barrage that Flameboy tried doing, that was a perfect example of why the Ravens' split team strategy is absolutely amazing. He managed to get both Sprinklejet and Blink, two players that were just anchoring down the main objective there and preventing the Foxes from actually, launching any attacks. But that would have been critical and amazing for the Foxes and a great opportunity for them to actually take the point. But because we still had Jake and Corbs on the side separated, taking out the rest of Flameboy's team as he was barraging, that really didn't let any follow-up happen onto the point. They weren't able to follow up on that barrage. And so even though they got rid of one important group of players, there was still, the other group of important players, left. And that's really just a product of good team coordination and just really good players. We saw that everybody on the Ravens team have been pulling their weight and playing very well.
Yeah, definitely showing to be a tough opponent today as we head towards our third map, which is, of course, Hanamura, the dreaded 2CP. We're going into this with the Ravens having a 2-0 map lead, and we're actually going to switch sides. The Ravens are going to be in the red, starting on the attack here. So the Foxes now sort of have the advantage in the sense that they can defend first. They can set the pace of this map which they haven't really been able to do in the last 2 sets. So what do you think they're going to come out with here on this defense?
I mean, if I were the Foxes right now, I would definitely want to find a way to counter this split strategy that the Ravens are pulling off. I'm not sure if they have anything in mind, but what I'm currently thinking of is maybe something a bit more longer ranged and something with a bit more burst damage, actually. If they could just do the damage and land the shots with someone like Hanzo, I think, or maybe even a Bastion, that would definitely do a lot of damage. Bastion's a bit hard to set up, and Hanzo's a bit more mobile. Maybe a McCree as well can do a lot of damage. Just a very solid DPS that can do some damage. We saw the Pharah come out, but on Flameboy, but that wasn't really working out super well. You would think it would go well since she can have the range on Reaper, but even then, Corbs on Hammond was able to just gun her down. I would say maybe stick as a group a bit more, coordinate, and be play a bit of a death ball comp, I would say. Just focus on each other and just try to focus behind some sort of common shield. Noah right here picking the Ryan is a good example of what I'm thinking of. And yeah, as we see Spire on the Junkrat, that could be a very interesting pick because that does do a lot of damage. And White River also on Zenyatta, a very damage heavy healer. This could work actually. This is just what I'm saying. You need to do some burst damage to take down 6-shooter and Corb Champ as they come on and they start pushing their aggression.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you also mentioned the McCree. I felt like they had a McCree earlier, and they were able to take down 6-shooter on the Reaper and even taking down Corb Champ. And I think that might have been a good pick. But having the Brig Junkrat here is so good because you have the stun, and you still have like a ton of damage that comes with playing the Junkrat. But you see them doing the split here. They do it again, and Blink already set up, already able to find a kill on a White River while they're busy trying to deal with this Hammond.
Exactly, yeah. White River right there just overextended like crazy. Noah, for whatever reason, wasn't with his team at the beginning of the fight and is now picked off by Blink. Sprinkle and Blink actually setting up in a very unorthodox position, actually, right here behind that white van. Snow Parallax trying to get rid of that, but not doing that.
Yeah, really just trying to get damage in and keep the Bastion from getting value. But while he was doing that, the rest of his team was going down, and we're going to see a very quick first cap from this Ravens offense.
Exactly, yeah. The defense from the Foxes just really fell apart very quickly, and they're actually staggered here with White River just going down right now.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Exactly, very unfortunate. That can definitely, sway the tide of this next fight. And yeah, we see that Noah wasn't up there. White River at the very beginning of the fight was just overextended. So honestly, I would just like to see the Foxes group together a bit more. Already we see the first team fight on the second point coming out.
We see Corb now setting up, finding an early kill on another nerd, but 6-shooter coming in, or actually Jerbear coming in and taking down 6-shooter, and Blake gonna go down while he's trying to use his ult there. We see a great fight coming back from this defense, but Jake going in with that Dragon Blade. Is he gonna find anything? He is gonna find 1, 2, and a third one going down thanks to the Hammond mines. River so low on this Moira pick, and they've already got 2 ticks, heading quickly for a third. Diva Bomb comes onto the point, able to find 2 from Snow Parallax. The Riptire from Junkrat looking for more damage as well. 2 more. And that was a great retake from this Fox's defense.
Well, that's the first fight that the Foxes actually able to convincingly win this entire series. Very well played by there. And that the reason because burst damage. That suicide, what am I saying? That Diva Bomb from Snow Parallax completely wiped out both 6-shooter and Azami. Really important picks in that fight. And then we saw Riptire coming out from Spire, just doing the damage and taking out the rest of the team. That was absolutely amazing. Exactly what the Foxes really need to be doing to bring back the series. Just do the burst damage, focus on just bringing out attacks. That did require a couple ults, and we will see if they...
Oh, both Reapers using their Death Blossoms around the same time, but 6-shooter proves that there can really only be one as he finds 3 kills with his, and unfortunately Jerbear goes down in disappointing fashion, and that's going to be 2 points take.
Exactly, yeah. 6-shooters were just kind of able to get right into the center and past Noah's shield right there, and that was definitely the deciding factor in that one final fight. With the Death Blossom, he was just able to tear through everyone else, and it was very, very just damaging. He managed to get those 3 kills, as you mentioned, and that really just took down the Fox's defense Right now, we see them now playing on offense. We'll see if they can try continue. I would recommend they would continue that Junkrat play right here, especially because of the gate over here. You're able to lob some grenades over it and do some damage at the arc. Would be nice to see. Aside from that, they just gotta continue being a little bit more grouped together to bring this match into overtime and get a better time than 5:20 that the Ravens got.
Which really isn't that far-fetched. I mean, oftentimes I see 2CP maps where it's like they both get 5 minutes and then they both get 3 minutes and it ends up like 8 to 7, like just absolutely ridiculous time banks. So this map is by no means over, but there's certainly a long road ahead for the Fox.
Exactly, yeah. We're seeing the team comps come out. We see that the Foxes are actually bringing out Azaria on Snow Parallax. That would be very interesting, actually. And I think it would be a good pick because that way that she can protect her other teammates. That would be very critical, especially with these back flankers of Six Shooter, who's already up in a very forward position right here, waiting to pounce on the Foxes right here, along with Jake. Yeah, we see Corp Champ actually switching out to an Ana. I just want to point that out. So there is only one tank.
We actually see Snow Parallax getting an early advantage here, able to keep Six Shooter away from the Zen, but unfortunately they lost Flameboy on the Mercy because Jake was back there too on the Genji, and Noah gonna go down as well.
Yeah, it was very peculiar. Noah wasn't really using his shields, so he kind of just wasted his shields in front of Blink, so not the best use of his abilities, and just kind of was kept peeking and just got mowed through. Snow Parallax actually rushing in alone.
Yeah, unfortunately he's gonna go down there. Jerbear, Flameboy going for a res, but I'm not sure if that was the best positioning to attempt to res in. And there we go. Raven's gonna push in now as Noah the Nerd's shields goes down. Spire gonna find a kill on a Jake there, looking for this Reaper, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to spot him out.
Yeah, just Jake is. You can see that the whole team of Fox is just paranoid. Six Shooter actually already going after Flameboy, but almost able to make a speedy recovery.
You actually saw it right there. The play in action, Parallax able to shield that Mercy and protect her from death. And that's actually going to give them the advantage here. It's a 5v6, but they need to be able to push onto this Bastion without taking too much damage.
Yeah, and see that they're doing just that. Blink has actually been pushed out of his position, trying to get back out. He has a Discord Orb on him. If they can do some damage, Spire and Snow Parallax pushing in right now.
Yeah, we're actually going to see Splinket's shield going down first. Impressive when you're playing against a Bastion. Both Reapers going to go down in quick succession there. Jake is very low health, but he does have his blade up. Spire now with the Riptire on the prowl. Unfortunately going to go down, but Azimi used his sound barrier for that. White River, though, also going down, and now the blade comes.
Yeah, exactly. These blades just doing a lot of damage. Actually, Jake getting 2 kills right there, and now the push that the Foxes so desperately fought for and were pulling off gets taken down and has been another set back to the arch without any ticks to call. That's it just gotta be a bit demoralizing for the Foxes right now. We see some comp changes. A Reaper coming out. And actually, no, they had a Reaper the entire time. I'm sorry. Red River going over to Moira.
Ooh, Six Shooter finding 3 in the backline right there, announcing to the world that he is on fire. Well, it's hard to not be on fire after a kill play like.
Oh, exactly. Six Shooter just tearing through Snow Parallax. Once again, we see the open aggression from the Ravens. Once again, may I remind you, running only 1 tank, 3 DPS at this current moment. So it's a very risky play, but they're pulling it off very well, honestly. Flameboy trying to go for a res, but getting caught up in the process. Oof.
And there we go, the nano boosted Death Blossom coming in, finding 3 kills there, and he's still nanoed looking for more onto Snow Parallax. This Zarya might not be surviving very long yet, gonna go down right there.
Exactly. The Snow Foxes are all just individually overextending. They're not really waiting for their team to spawn in. You saw Snow Parallax focus more on killing Six Shooter than actually getting back into spawn and staying in safety. So, oof. And once again, we see Flameboy was caught out in the open, completely isolated, and Six Shooter, a known threat, was able to pounce right on her. So, oof, some poor coordination on the behalf of the Foxes.
Yeah, and it's most unfortunate because Jerbear and Parallax, they have this Grav Death Blossom combo, which can be so deadly, but they're not even going to get a chance to use it because they're getting so hard pushed by Jake and Six Shooter in the backline here.
Exactly, and yeah, without even a chance to call overtime, the Ravens managed to take Hanamura, bringing the scoreline to 3-0 and winning the series.
Yeah, they will be winning the series. However, this is more of an Overwatch League style system, so we will still be playing that fourth map. The map score is going to matter as we see this play of the game coming out from Six Shooter, and we see how perfect his positioning is, coming up from the high ground, engaging after his team has already engaged, so that he knows that the pressure is off and he has a window to do some serious damage, and that's exactly what he did.
Exactly, yeah. We saw Six Shooter really show up for his team. He got 10 Death Blossom kills out of 3 Death Blossoms in the entire game. Very impressive on his behalf. And just, he knows where to position himself. He knows when to pop that ult. And he's just very good with that. He knows, he's able to do enough damage, try to get some trash damage to help bring up his meter just so at the right exact moment, when it's needed, he can bring it out and get some kills there. We're going on to Eichenwald now. This is the 4th game. Maybe Foxes, they could probably play a little bit more relaxed. They know that they've already lost the series. Maybe they can go for at least 1 point. Just try to play and get at least 1 map on their record.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, going to Eichenwald now and hybrid can be very tough, especially Eichenwald. It can be very tough to break that first point. And after we saw what happened on Hanamura, I'm not sure how I feel about the Fox's chances here. It could be difficult for them because they are going to be attacking first. It could be difficult for them to go and attack this first point.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to need I would definitely say that they got to continue with the burst damage. And that pick on using the Junkrat, that was a really good pick. That did a lot of damage. You were able to take out Six Shooter several times in Hanamura. And it was very well done from the Foxes team. I really do commend them on that. So if they can continue playing with that, I see that maybe another Sombra as well. I really like the Sombra pick. I really hope, I'm just wishing that they can make it work, because that could totally take out the Blink, Sprinkle Jet, and now it's Howard Stark combo. Howard Stark hasn't switched in for the Ravens right now. So yeah, but really, it's unless if the Foxes make any major changes, we might just be seeing more of the same.
Well, we are actually seeing one of the Foxes members does have to leave, so we are going to be seeing a different team member coming in. We'll be waiting on them to join the lobby. In the meantime, I'm wondering how much impact they could have on this match.
Exactly, yeah. I would say that maybe with an inclusion of a sub, just changing someone out, that could definitely lead to a possible comp change. We were seeing them run a lot of 2-2-2, so something fairly basic. Considering the amount of damage that the Ravens have been pulling out, I would actually recommend the Foxes maybe go for something like a triple, like a Goats. Just having the triple support to support 3 tanks, that could definitely peel off Corbs and Six Shooter away from the supports when need be. So if they stick with maybe switch over to Goats, that's what I'm saying. If I were the Fox's in-game leader right now, I'd be calling Goats and really just sticking together as a kind of a death ball strat. So that
I think I'm not sure if they feel like they practice enough to play something like Goats, because the thing is, you really don't have a lot of damage when you're playing Goats, so you really need to be heavily coordinated. I think for the Foxes, what they need to try and do is just play a heavy stun comp. Maybe get Hog, Kree, and maybe a Brig in there. I think that might work well for them to try and catch the Ravens out and try and force them into positions where they could do badly, and trying to maybe avoid their flanker damage as well. Maybe even play a triple tank comp.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, and right now we're actually gonna be cutting to a break. We'll be Their Foxes are taking their time to get their last sub in, so just wait a while and we'll get right back here for Eichenwald. All right, welcome back. Sadly, we will not be able to play Eichenwald for you guys. The Foxes were unable to bring back their sixth sub, so they're just gonna forfeit, and that'll be the end of the match. Thank you for tuning in to the Alaska region of Season 3 of EGFH, with the MSCS Ravens taking the victory. You can follow us at official EGF on Twitter and Twitch for updates and announcements. I'd like to once again thank our sponsor Mob Crush for helping make this season possible. I am Gorka, and you can find me at Gorka_man on Twitter. Cool J. And you can also find Cool J on Twitter somewhere in the description. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And you will see you next week.